Hey, hello people. Uh, Sounded pretty dead than that's the last video, so hopefully it'll be more interesting this time. God bless me, right? So we talked about the importance of the art fundamentals last post, and also there's me doing my daily studies at the background. I think it's appropriate because it's fundamentals related. So I'm painting this skull, studying the skull on my desk. So here we go. Um, what are the art fundamentals for art and tattooing? So if you're taking tattooing seriously, of course, there's something here more than the original post on the blog. But also, if you could check it out, that would be great. And yeah, so I compare people like artists with graphic cards on your computer, right? You want the best graphics. Right now, like who has the best graphics? Probably Death Stranding, right? When it hits the PC. So anyway, you want to upgrade your graphics card as a person. So how do you upgrade yourself? Obviously, you can't like screw out your brains, right? Like that would be the easy way. But the way we upgrade our graphic cards is by training and practicing fundamental skills. So let's talk about the fundamentals. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is forms and shapes. So every good tattoo could be broken down into forms and shapes that are well designed, that are interesting. So if you look at the post, there's a picture, there's a tattoo design from my friend Anubis. So she used three interesting shapes, right? So the basic shapes of a triangle, a circle, and the serpent is like a cylinder. They're really clear, really easy to read, interesting shapes. So that's what you need to understand when you're studying forms and shapes. So what could help you with practicing forms and shapes? The easy answer is just like me up on the video. I've got this skull model, so I've set it on the table, make a light source, and start to draw it. And after drawing it from one angle, I'll try to draw it from another angle. Yep. Off to the next part. Perspective. Perspective applies to tattoo works which are really rare, honestly. Unless you're tattooing a landscape done by replicating it, ones done by old masters. It's pretty rare, but it does exist. So if you want to skip on one fundamental, this is the most skippable, I'll say, but still it's pretty valuable on understanding other principles after you've understand perspective. So on to the next one. So anatomy and proportions. Um, this is critical for you to study if you want to make better shapes, because technically the human body is made up of very complicated shapes, right? So if you want to improve your shapes, studying the human body definitely helps. And then also there's a certain proportion in the human body, like your arms won't be super long when you put it on a human body, unless you're like a chimpanzee, right? Or you're drawing a face, you won't have a super big eyes unless you're drawing a frog or an alien, right? So the knowledge of those keep you in check for going too wild when you're shooting for like something realistic. So how do you practice proportions? Quick answer. Study anatomy and the human body. Okay, off to the next part, composition, which I think is definitely really important. You hear this again and again, like everything is really important to me. So, uh, like other forms of art, you see, like entertainment art, they work around a rectangle, right? When you watch a movie, it's on a rectangular screen. When you play with games, it's on your computer screen. You look at a poster, it's still on a rectangular, though it's not in portrait. So the point is, like, it's not 3D, and it's flat and it's rectangular. But for tattooing, if you apply on it, you're tattooing around a 3D human body, right? And you're working with a lot of shapes other than the rectangle, like the shape of muscles. They are like teardrops, and it's critical to understand what shape are you dealing with, and composition wise, shape you what shape of your design complements that part of the human body and make the whole thing appealing to the eye, right? You want to make interesting, visually appealing pieces, right? So that's why you want to train this fundamental skill, compositions. So how do you train compositions? You could find screenshots of your favorite movie, and then you break it down in shapes and see how they merge. See how they work, see how they sing with each other. It's like an orchestra, right? With different instruments, different shapes represents different instruments. They need to work together in harmony. That's music and that's art. They're the same. So so you draw them, and although they're in a rectangular form, uh, still there's a great value on studying them after, because a lot of compositions they're rounded, they're curved, more suited for the human body. Believe it or not, they're just somehow on a rectangular format. If you study them, you start to be aware of them, and more easier to create these shapes from your visual library. So off to the next point, which is values and shading. So value is how you communicate which part of your tattoo design is the most important of your story of the tattoo you want to tell. So everything else should serve that goal. So how do you tell people that that part is most important? You direct people's eyes with the most interesting, the strongest contrast to make people read the most uh, the most critical point of your drawing. Believe it or not, like back in this practice at the background, at the end I tried to drive interest. If you could discover it or not, I made a really strong edge near the right eye, and then I made a lot of different contrasting tones around it and making it more gave more details around that area to make you focus on that, because every piece of art needs a focus. So how do you train? How do you practice value? You draw movie screenshots with 3 to 5 values. You limit your values and you start to train the patterns of them. A good example would be what I was doing at the background, like that. Just pick 3 values. And then there are the hidden secret fundamentals that most likely nobody tell you about. So the first one is observation skills. So it's technically training a good eye, good artist's eye, if you talk about it. So it will help you to see the great parts of people's work, and then you start to understand the skills and things they trained, the knowledge they put behind that stroke, how did they make that stroke? Is because they studied and they know more than you. So having a good eye, you will be able to spot those things. And also, an eye on yourself. Musashi said, a good swordsman, like the best swordsman in Japan history, right, or even the world. Like a good swordsman need to put one eye on the enemy and another eye on yourself. So just like what he said, you need to put one eye on your artwork, and you notice the flaws and you try to fix the flaws. That's how you. That's how important the artist's eye is. And how do you train an artist's eyes, you ask? So you write down tattoos and artwork about about the people you like. Write about the art pieces of stuff you like, and then try to pick out the things you like, why you like. Write about them. It helps you to have a concrete idea on your mind next time while you're creating art. You try to apply it in your artwork. So the next one is discipline. Discipline is really important. So it helps you to, because I don't know about you, my mind is always in chaos. But in that chaos, you need discipline to pick out what kind of art you want to make, what kind of focus you want. Because in one piece of art, often there's more than one interesting point you want to develop on. But one of them is more important. That drives the story, that drives the narrative of your piece. So it's pure discipline that you work on the important parts and ignore the least important parts. So how do you train for discipline? You could take a cold shower every day, no questions asked. You just jump in, take a cold shower. That's it. That's discipline. And then, hand in hand with discipline, there's perseverance. Perseverance is the driving power of persisting till the end, no matter what. I can't tell you how many times I doubt myself about art and trying to have a thought of giving up. But no, I tell myself, keep keep grinding, and then I try to stay in the game, trying to study why are people better than me, trying to do what they do, trying to study what they study. One day, I'll make it. Because by not giving up, I could tell you like my art was worse after looking at the stuff I did before. But yeah, I stuck to it, and then I saw improvement. And this year, I'll try my best to practice more critical things, not just random mindless drawing, and then make my tattoo and tattoo designs better. So these are the tattoo fundamentals and secret ones that nobody tell you about. If you want to read the written format, the link is in the description. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you around.